Shit pissed me off for real. Why do you act like that?
Like what?
The way that you act, you don't see how you act why people don't want to be around you?
No.
Look how you act.
You're right. You're so close to the answer, yet so far. Here's the thing. If we didn't fake claim all these systems who people fake claim, because they are the stereotypical young AFAB teen who wears bunny hats and all that shit, if you didn't fake claim those people and you just left them alone, then this stereotype wouldn't exist. Because you wouldn't fake claim them, and so they wouldn't be seen as the stereotypical fake. They wouldn't be seen as the stereotypical faker. And so, since that stereotype then wouldn't exist, then those kids who are genuinely have these disorders don't have to feel guilty or be deathly afraid of being fake claimed just because they fit that stereotype. So if you just don't fake claim and you just accept everyone as genuine unless it's significantly proven otherwise, then there wouldn't be an issue. At the end of the day, if you just mind your own business and don't pay any attention to those who are faking, then it won't be an issue because those who are faking are doing it for attention. If you don't give them that attention, then they'll realise that it's not going to work. But also it's worth mentioning that if someone is going to such lengths as faking a disorder for attention, they have some issues they need working out, and bullying them is not the way to go about fixing that because it will just make things worse, and they're probably really mentally unstable already, and if you're bullying a mentally unstable person, you know where that might lead. I don't want to have to say it. But I would hope you wouldn't want to have to be even partially responsible for that kind of thing. And in that case, just shut up and stop bullying kids for being kids.
I'm a villain. 왜 아닐 거라 생각해. 아주 못된 먹은 작은 악마 같은 나인 걸 몰라.
Congrats on making it r/fake disorder cringe. Love to get my daily dose of cringe from there and see people like you. Fake disorders. So, fun fact, this person actually originally commented on my post about line 3 and how we need to stop it. I called them out for being petty on a post that's about millions and millions of people's lives. And they threw a temper tantrum about it. And then told somebody else that she was pressed. And like, there are a million things that I could point out here. I could point out that this is obviously projection. I could point out that you're making me money by commenting on my post. I could point out that this is fan behavior. But I'm not gonna point out any of that. The thing that I am gonna point out though is, it's like. It's spelled L-I-K-E. Usually I would just give you the benefit of the doubt and assume it was a typo, but you had so many opportunities to fix it and you just didn't. I will Venmo $1 to the first person who leaves a snarky reply on every single one of their comments.
Because this is how you Reddit niggas look. I'm gonna make this incredibly false claim because I think that you're faking and I think I'm the savior of some sort. Actually, that information is not correct. There's plenty of information that goes against what you said. Ha, where's your sources, fucking liberal? Google is free, and where are your sources? You're deflecting. You're just making claims, you're spreading false info, and you're not providing any claims for your evidence. You also provided no evidence for your claims as well. Well, you're a filthy faker, so you're gonna go get posted on this fucking subreddit. Blah.
If you're a system on here, please watch this. I have a warning for you. A very popular YouTuber just posted a video a couple hours ago titled Fake Disorders on TikTok, and it already has almost 500,000 views. The YouTuber in question is Critical. He goes by Charlie, Critical, Penguin Zero, whatever. I've watched him for years, but he just recently posted a video talking about fake disorders on TikTok, and in that video he was focusing on Tourette's, but the comments are already mentioning DID because Tourette's is a hot topic for fake disorders, but so is DID, and it's going to amass well over 1 million views at this point. I just want y'all to be careful because now a bunch of people are going to see that and scour the disorder hashtags.
Actual goals, AF. Literally, my life is beaches every single night. Messy buns and Christmas lights. Literally, my life is skinny, loose, and high. Captain riding in the G-Dragon. Literally, my life is.
All your boyfriends go to film school. Nathan was in plays in high school. Me, I'm gonna play the
Thanks, Ted. And now for your news at 5. I am glad to announce that I will officially be losing my marbles. Yep, that's right. One motherfucker too many has tried my patience, and now I will officially be going postal. That's all. Now to you, Patricia, for the weather.
So, for reasons that are both personal and not very interesting, I have begun perusing, in an act of probably emotional self-harm, the subreddit r/fake disorder cringe. And it's awful, because most of the time it's just people being ableist or people having very specific understandings of mental illness and not allowing their views to be changed at all. This is brought to you by one specific meme format that happens all of the time on this stupid subreddit. This is a description of one possible manifestation of DID, including a difficult alter and amnesia, etc. And then this is just a non-comparison, because it's disgusting to me that you could think that someone who has these alters or this interjects cannot have the same problems, and it's just really frustrating. My specific problem with this is that it paints mental illness as something that has to be debilitatingly negative all of the time. And that's not to say that there are disorders where it's not debilitating 95 to 100% of the time, but to disqualify an entire other group of people because you think that someone else's mental illness should look the way it's been portrayed to you and described to you by a specific group of people is ridiculous and really upsetting to watch and read, and why I need to stop doing it, because it just makes me angry. The other thing is like just cherry picking data and or hearing one specific instance from one specific possible study and then running with it, like the idea that in dissociative identity disorder or OSDD systems that splits can't happen after the initial trauma, which is not how that works and has been proven that that's not how that works, and that fictives don't exist, or if you have a fictive or interject of any kind, you're lying, especially if that interject is of a modern media and not a media from when you were a child, and stuff like that, which is just wholly incorrect and not backed by science.
Do you know what, guys? I don't want to have to make a video like this, but I'm so frustrated. I try to be as positive as I possibly can to show people that it's absolutely fine to be 100% yourself, but there's so many people trying to bring me down. So you may have seen my karaoke. My tics were very active because I don't know when I recorded it, maybe a month ago, I had an active tic day where they were really, really hyper, and I get what we call Tourette zoomies, where I was really, really hyper, so I was like, okay, I'm going to try and let out that energy in a positive way. So I let out the tics by singing. Obviously I can suppress them a little bit, so in the first clip where I was like, oh, this is Tourette's karaoke, blah blah blah, I don't tic because I suppress for that like 10 seconds, and then I'll let my tics out in a gap, and then I'll start the song. I am sick and tired of trying to explain to people that everyone with Tourette's is different. And you know what? Now that it's been put on Reddit and people are hating me on there, there's so many people on there that are like, oh, I've got Tourette's, this is 100% fake, blah 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 blah. Well, it's not. So clearly you need to rethink. We should be sticking together, not dragging each other down, because we can't gatekeep a disorder that's a spectrum. Well, she wasn't taking much in our last video. Yes, I cut most of my tics out if I'm speaking, because I want to get the point of what I'm saying across, and I hate it when I do little tics like this, so most of the time I'll re-record them. Admittedly, I probably shouldn't have gone on Reddit and actually read the comments, because they have annoyed me, they have really frustrated me, and I'm not going to pretend like I'm not bothered at all, because I am bothered, but I just wanted to see what people were saying, because I was getting so many comments saying, oh my god, this and this is happening. Social media can be so toxic. And the thing is, I know fully well that half the people on that Reddit page would not say a thing to my face. So here we go, let's show you some of the Reddit things. So here's the post by LunaGirl77. Hope you're proud of yourself, honey. You'll have to pause to read these. There's so many more, but I'm not going to give these people any more attention because they don't deserve it. For the few people on there sticking up for me, thank you. I have posted my diagnosis on TikTok previously, but clearly no one mentioned that to them. It's just disgusting behaviour, and comparing me to other TikTokers with Tourette's is vile. I hope you...
If you like smoking weed, let me hear you say hell yeah! Gotcha. Get these motherfuckers.
I'm convinced that these people wake up in the morning and they decide, I'm gonna go touch my face and pretend it's different people every time. They gotta act surprised every time, like they didn't know what's gonna happen either, like... What could that possibly be? You can just imagine that the hand has a mind of its own and it's forcing them to do all of these. Do it, bitch.
Hi, a couple things. One, I don't think you came off as rude. I think that you are genuinely looking for information, so I appreciate that. Two, I am not a clinician. I am not a psychologist. I'm a person who's been researching this disorder since I was about 14. I'm 22 now, so that's a lot of time that I've been researching and making friends in the community and things like that. So, just so you know, my credentials there. So, a couple things. Dissociation is when your brain will separate you from a traumatic experience. It's kind of hard to talk about it without personifying the brain, but basically, if you've ever had something happen to you and you have an out-of-body experience, or you feel like the world is slightly farther away than usual, you don't feel as grounded in reality, those can be forms of dissociation. So DID is where personality states are essentially completely differentiated from one another, and there is some kind of amnesia block between the altered states, the alters. So there's memory loss involved. Usually each alter has likes and dislikes and their own personality, their own moods, their role in the system, things like that. So that is kind of an overview of that. DID is not an umbrella term. Dissociative disorder is the larger term. There are two others that include altered states. OSDD 1A, which is that the alters are not as differentiated from one another, and OSDD 1B, where there are differentiated alters, but the amnesia blocks between them are less frequent, or you experience more emotional amnesia, which is a whole other thing in itself. Okay. Dissociative disorders, DID, OSDD 1B, and 1A form before the age of 8. It has to have caused such severe trauma has had to have happened to a child, which it's actually not that hard to severely traumatize a child before that age to cause dissociation to happen enough that the personality does not integrate into one. There are amnesia blocks. There are essentially walls between the different personalities. That is kind of as general as I can be in 3 minutes. I definitely suggest doing your own research.
We have another hoodie dweller. They also have a voice changer as well, because of course they do. I'm starting to think this is just like a 12-year-old little girl and everything, and she doesn't want her parents to know that she made this. You can tell it's a girl too, unless it's just a boy with really long hair. That could be it, whatever. Also, the first time they flip you off and everything, they make that weird noise, which is like, ooh. It sounds like an aggressive version of someone, like Roblox character, but they just try to deepen it, you know? And then it also kind of sounds like somebody punched them in the stomach as well. So, there's that. That's all I can really hear from that. Also, they have a little blue thing on the side of the shower. I have one of those too. It's a face scrub, and I'm honestly surprised they didn't use that as a fidget toy. If you watch until the end of the video, suddenly all of their tics are magically gone because they have to pick up their phone and end the video. I'm just pointing that out.
Yeah. Knife, say hi. Knife is switched out. Jace.
This isn't how DID or any system works at all. It's not some fun hangout with friends, so let's document our switches while we get drunk, guys. It's a traumatic disorder. And switches only happen when you're going through trauma or extreme stress. Tics also don't work like this either. You can't have an alter that has tics that only come out when they're out. Tourette's is a developmental disorder that can't be turned on and off, so it's physically impossible for one single alter to have it. Plus, this girl admitted that she doesn't even have a system and that she wasn't hurting anyone. She's since deleted the comment because God forbid she loses her following. Literally stop.